Congratulations on a job well done. It's the 2025 Woman of the Year in Chicago. How do you feel right now?
I feel totally energized. I feel like not only the awards program, the comments from the speakers, but the reception of the audience, just to me, I feel like the HBA is validated. That's the word.
Absolutely.
It's like a good word.
Yeah, validated for the entire HBA, and the fact that all these people came,
Yes.
even in the midst of all that's going on now, but also all of the feedback, as people have made a point to come up to me to say, thank you so much for doing this. We've got to keep talking about it. We've got to keep reminding people of why the HBA was founded in the first place.
For sure.
For sure. And then the fact that everybody recognizes that there's so much more work to be done. It'd be great if we could say we're done, but we know we're not.
We are not done, that is for sure.
Yeah.
And there was such a palpable buzz in the room today, and there was such a responses to so many of the important messages that were delivered from that stage.
Yes.
What sticks out most to you?
The message that stuck out most to me, which I thought was really amazing, was how everybody, we did not orchestrate this, but pretty much everybody in their comments talked about the United Force for Change.
Yes.
It was, we did not say, here's the theme, here's what you should be talking about, but they all went to it, and that has been the theme for how long, before I certainly became the CEO, but at the end of the day, people recognize this is what it's all about. We have been a united force for change, and actually we can't move away from that. We've got to do it even more so.
We have to be more forceful.
Even more forceful. And the fact that they went to that on their own, because I think so many people recognize, again, not only the moment we're in, but the power of the HBA, that we are a united force for change, and we are united. It has always been open to men and women.
Yes.
All of that, all of those things. And it was very exciting for people who had never seen the Founders video.
Yes, agreed.
To see it, and man, Peg and Ruth are stars all over again.
And they're living their best life right now, I know.
Fantastic.
It was awesome.
And all the people
The
coming
energy.
to take pictures with them.
Yes.
I love it.
I love that for them as well. It was awesome.
It was
The other thing that I heard come loud and clear was it's a time for courage right now.
Yes.
And so how can you share, what do you have to say about courage for our HBA members? How can they be more courageous in their own decision making?
Yeah, I think that it's this is what is actually needed now is courage, and we're going to have the courage, one, to speak up about what is still really important and necessary for the healthcare workforce, for our industry to do, but also to speak up about the fact that we have to do it together.
Yes.
We're going to have to take some risk, but the point is speaking up about the fact that we've got to pivot. And I know some people may have issues with that, but at the end of the day, I don't think there's any term that I'm willing to, be a hill that I'm willing to die on. It's not the words, it's the work. And we need courage to keep pushing for the work to be done. I don't care what you call it.
We can't afford not to elevate our voices. That's HBA.
That's HBA.
That is HBA.
And we have been doing this work for 50 years. This is not new stuff.
Nope, it's not new.
And so we've got to push for that work to continue, and we've got to be the voice. Why? And we are a legitimate, validated voice. And that's what I have heard about the HBA from day one when I became the CEO.
Excellent.
From our own corporate partners, CEOs, and other leaders. You, HBA, have such a positive brand and voice.
Yes.
You need to use it for more. We had no idea what more was going to become, but we're ready.
That's exactly right. We are a united force for change.
That's right.
Thank you, Mary. Well done, and
welcome.
congratulations on today. Spectacular.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
very
ladies.
well done.
So
very well
excited to
done.
have you doing this
Awesome.
podcast. We're going to have some great, I know you all have some great topics and ideas.
Oh,
but
yes.
this is another opportunity for us to flex our voice and make sure we're heard. So thank
Wonderful.
you.
Thank
Well,
you.
we're here. We're here for you. We're here for HBA.
Absolutely. Thank
Yes.
you.
Well, we are in Chicago for the 2025 HBA Woman of the Year. And we are here with our Woman of the Year, Reshema, and our Star of the Year, Rebecca. And we are excited to see how you feel right now, Reshema.
Oh my goodness, it's indescribable. I am on an all-time high, I have to say, from the energy of the room. You know, I have to say in the beginning, when Mary told me she was moving it to Chicago, I was like, are people really going to travel to Chicago? It's been in New York for so many years.
Sure.
But the room was full in so many people, so many companies. It was just amazing.
Well, I will say, we could feel the buzz when we walked in.
Yes.
And then when you stood to do your speech, even before that, your introduction with the video, and then it was amazing. You could feel people just kind of vibrating, waiting for you to come on stage. So you did not disappoint.
Oh, wow. Well, I tell you, that was a complete surprise. I knew nothing about the video. I knew nothing about it. And if you notice, I came out early to hug Wendy, and she whispered in my ear, she said, there's a video, you need to go back. So I didn't know anything about it, and I heard my son's voice.
Oh,
That's when I
special.
peeked around, but I haven't seen the full video. I heard it. I heard Boss, I heard Alex Gorski. Oh my goodness, it was
Victor.
just Victor.
Yeah.
I am overcome with emotion, I
it
have
was
to say.
overwhelming.
I'm overcome.
And I sat beside Wendy, and I thought she was going to have a heart attack like 5 times. Rebecca, how do you feel? You're just off the stage as well.
I have to say, I feel truly, truly inspired. And I
Oh.
mean that, Reshema, you inspired all of us today.
Same
in many
here.
ways, right? In many, many ways. And I also feel encouraged because I think now more than ever, and in this very moment, we needed this. And I feel like the voices that were in the room today and the support and the energy that we all felt, we need this now more than ever. So really, really encouraged.
And Rebecca, I will say the same thing I just said to Reshema. You knocked it out of the park.
Oh,
Another
flawless.
superstar.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Both of you, your presence up there was such an inspiration to so many women and to so many men. So thank you so much for standing up and doing us and the HBA proud. On a more serious topic, you both have had such distinguished careers. How does this award feel to you in terms of the impact it's going to have going forward? And we'll start with you, Rebecca.
I have to say, I have dedicated so much of my time to lifting others. And in fact, it's really uncomfortable, and you heard that in my speech, to be referenced as a star. I'm much more comfortable in the role of lifting others and coaching and mentoring and supporting the community. And so, I think I'm really fortunate to have the opportunity to be able to support other women on a career journey, of a challenge, of a difficult conversation, whatever that may be. And I appreciate the time and space that I've been provided and given, that I can do that inside the company, outside of the company, wherever it may be.
And in typical Rebecca fashion, you turned it to everybody else and not onto yourself. And I have to say, you have inspired me personally over the last decade and a half that I've known you. You were an exemplary chair of the HBA, and you were a great boss to work for. So thank you for that.
It's not the first time I had to blink back tears with Rebecca.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And Reshema, you've been through big company to big company. You've had such a great career, and you are influencing and impacting patients on a level that is just, beyond. And you had 2 of the patients here, you referenced them today in your speech. Talk to us about what that means, this award means for you in terms of your future patient focus.
I haven't fully taken in all of that this award is.
Fair
I
enough.
have to say. And I wanted this to be not about me, but about a call to action about others.
Love that.
because I believe really your impact and doing something significant, a legacy, or I call it, I don't like the word legacy. It sounds like you're not going to be here for a long
Right.
time. I mean, we're all going to leave at some
You're
point.
not done yet, but you've got a long way to go.
I call it my leadership imprint. Think about it.
Leadership imprint.
Imprint, right?
Yes.
I was there. And because I was there, something will be different. Teams will be different.
Yes.
Organizations will be different. Patients' lives will be different because I was there. And I was uniquely positioned to do something differential and to multiply my impact. They become force multipliers. And I want to look back on this 20 years from now and say, we did that. I remember when we made that decision. I remember the voice in the room. It was that person who said this. And maybe I helped give them a little bit of courage to speak up, and it changed the course of the discussion or what have you. And so to me, that's what it's about, is helping people find their own power, helping teams, organizations find their own power, because when we do collectively, then patients will be more powerful.
I'm going to remember that term, leadership impact. That is, leadership imprint. That is
Think
awesome.
of a thumbprint.
Yes, I
right?
love that.
That's it.
And
My
Fantastic.
DNA was there.
I just have to say, you represented today not only that imprint, but being in the moment.
Yes.
Being
Yes.
in the moment with people and the moment that they need. And I'm so impressed with that. And definitely your imprint today is one that will influence many people. Many people. on the
Well
journey
said,
they have.
Rebecca, absolutely. Really quick side note, what did your mother think?
I think my mother was, one, overwhelmed by all the people. I think she probably didn't. Now, she attended the
Realize.
Rising Star, but somehow even this felt more massive to me than when I went to Rising Star over 10 years ago. But I know that she didn't know about my intention to honor her in that way. And she told me, I don't want to hear your speech. Don't practice it with me, because I just want to be in the moment and I want to hear, it for the first time with everyone else. And that's when I got the idea. I said, she wouldn't let me practice with her. And I said, okay, then I'm going
Careful
to
what
make
you
it
wish for.
really, really special. But you know what she said to me? She said, because I feel like it's my award too. And that stuck with me.
Oh.
Aw, love that.
It's a big
So I
celebration.
wanted to make it her award too, because she's right. She doesn't remind me at all of the sacrifice. She never talks about it. But I know the sacrifice she made. I would have definitely said, it's fine, it's good enough. I've accomplished more than I thought I ever would. I think I was a senior director, and I was like living the life like, it's good. I got 2 kids, a great husband, got a great job. Never thinking I would go any further.
Oh, that was just the one moment where you heard every mother go,
Yeah. And I think that was the first of many standing ovations during your speech, I have
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah,
And
she's
everybody
so
turned to
deserving.
look at your mom, and she was like, oh.
so how are you going to celebrate your award? I mean, you're just off the stage. It's been a month of celebration, and this is the biggest day. When you pass the torch on and you look back, how will you have celebrated the year?
It's a good question. You know what I feel like we missed in the opportunity? It's Mother's Day weekend.
It sure is.
And I don't reflect on it, because there were people who were saying, I have to catch my flight because they have to go through. Sunday is Mother's Day. Now, I'm staying over, but I think I'm going to have a little celebration. I have a lot of friends who are in town. Now, my husband and my son are gone. He has, even though he has a fever, he's determined
Darn
to go to that
kids.
basketball game tomorrow.
Oh my
right?
goodness.
He's like, I'll feel better by tomorrow. So they're getting on a plane tonight. God help them. And normally I would be in total helicopter mode. Like, he should not get on a plane. He should not. But you know what? I'll tell you how I'm celebrating by saying, do it.
Go fly.
Don't sneeze
Fine.
on the person next to you.
Dad's got it, right? And then the rest of us girls, my mom, we're staying over for the weekend.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so we'll
Oh,
have some
good.
girl time.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
So you will also be passing the torch this time next year in San Diego. So when you look back, what will you have wanted to accomplish? What are you going to say, I did this?
I really hope that the motivation and energy to support people, as
Yes.
certainly women in this time, but I think people, it takes women and men coming together through challenging times where whatever buzzword you want to use and apply, flexible, nimble, at the end of the day, we all have to be willing to continue to lean in and to take a stand for what's most important to us. And I really hope through the rest of this year that we can continue to inspire that and pass that torch to the next people who will be recognized as the star and as the WODI, that they are carrying that forward. Because that's what HBA is about. We build that connection and that community to drive the change that needs to happen as a united force for change. That's what we're about.
Well said, Rebecca. And I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Reshema. What did your family think? What was their reaction?
My family, I feel so blessed. My husband and daughter being here, and my daughter, who in particular is 20, obviously her birthday, celebrating with us, to experience the role models in the room. And when I shared my perspective on role models and the impact that you've had on life, that's so important. And for her to be able to see that and to be proud of her mom, right? That's something so special when your kids can look at their parents and say, Mom, I'm proud of you. My mom. That's my mom.
All right, now you all are making me cry. That is lovely, and what a great sentiment. And you are both such role models for future generations and current generations, because we all still have so much more to do and to learn. So I want to thank you both for your words of wisdom. One of the things that you had in common through your speeches was talking about finding the voice. And that resonates particularly with me.
And we hadn't talked about it at all.
At all.
And I
told you, it's the time that we're living in.
That's right. How do you find your voice, raise your voice, and have the courage to do so, especially in these times? So what advice do you have for other women to find their voices and make sure their voices are being heard when maybe they could be drowned out very easily? Reshema, I'll start with you.
Yeah, look, it's something I've had to learn over time. And I'll go back to something my mom taught me. Once you get an opportunity, you need to maximize it. So what is the point of being in the room? You finally got in the room, but you won't sit at the table. You sit at the table over there, right? And the boardroom table's there. You sit in the table you're sitting in the chair against the wall. No, go position yourself strategically in that room, right? The second one is, now you're at the table. But I don't think I can say anything because, I haven't been here long enough. It may not sound right. Now look, you have to use emotional intelligence. I'm not saying go out and just, talk without substance or whatever. And yes, you need to take in, observe, understand what's going on, the influencers, what are the real issues. But once you have a good handle on that, don't hold yourself back. And it's okay too I recently joined a corporate board. I'm loving my experience. I went to the first meeting. I had a board mentor, another woman, and coincidentally it was a woman who's on our current board at Novartis. I didn't know anything about this. This is what I mean about sponsorship. I didn't know anything about it. She went to our CEO and said, hey, would you guys allow Reshema to sit on the board? Because I'm on another board and we have an opening and I'd like to recommend her. Now, I didn't have a super close relationship with her. We were always friendly. She's seen me present a number of times, but she took interest in me. It's what's said about you and what's said without you in the room. She took interest in me. And the next thing I know, you talk about 0 to 60, the next thing I know, I'm on this board. And the companies, and I remember going to the first board meeting and I was like, getting ready for that, I shouldn't say anything because I'm new. What do I know? But then that's dumb, right? Well, why do we have board directors who are don't bring anything to the table? So I went to two of my mentors and I said, it's the first board meeting. Should I say something, not say something? Oh, Reshema, you've been recruited to this board because they feel you have something to add. It doesn't mean that you take up all the space. But if there is a topic that you're uniquely positioned to comment on, and you're the only one in that room that has this experience right now.
I have to say, you know, I came into the space very, very early in my life because I had to be a voice for my mom. I realized that sometimes people, and my mom, needed a voice to advocate for her and to represent. And so I, very early in my life, learned the importance of that and being able to support and champion and advocate for others. And so, you know, as a part of who I am in the community, helping others find their voice, and as I, you know, spoke about today, a part of that is being vulnerable, which you displayed wonderfully today.
Yes.
I really have to represent that. The ability to open up and really share your experiences in a very real. We're not perfect. We're not intended to be perfect. It is who we are. And I think working as a part of our internal, so we have an internal women's network that I work very closely with as well, and a lot of conversations with our general managers across Pharma International in the female community on this very topic that you just raised. They get a seat at the table, they speak a perspective and you share an opinion, but the discussion is really focused on, are they a part of the decision? And how do you make sure that you are a part of the decision that's being made in that moment and in the room?
Absolutely.
And how do we open up the, you know, the competence and the courage and the ability for people to take the steps that you've taken to be able to show and demonstrate that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There it is right there.
Well said, well said. You know, you also referenced in your speech, Rebecca, that enough is enough.
That was very powerful.
Extremely powerful. Let's talk about that courage piece. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough, and I do feel very passionate about that. You know, in my job, I'm responsible for our global patient network. I work with patient communities every day. Thank you for representing that so strongly and having patients in the room. And the fact of the matter is, the clinical standards around care that's provided to women are not where they need to be. And the impact that has on our ability to contribute and be productive in society is significant. And we have to, despite whatever's happening in the world around us, it's not about politics at this stage, it is about recognizing there are gaps in care that need to be addressed. And the only way to address those gaps is to focus on doing the research, including those communities, women, minorities, everyone that needs to be a part of that in that research so we can get the data that we need to change the standard of care.
Absolutely. It's doing the right thing for the right reasons for the right people.
At the right time.
Absolutely.
And this is the time right now. We cannot
This
let
is the time.
We cannot let this time escape us because it's starting to slip, and it's terrifying in a lot of ways.
Yep.
So thank you for that. That is a powerful message. Thank you, Rebecca. Reshema, a few minutes ago you talked about force, and you talked about the push-pull opportunities, and that you are a force of nature, and I think we saw that today, and we certainly are seeing that during our podcast now. You also talked about being a force multiplier. How can other women achieve that standard of being a force multiplier? What can they do to do that?
Just find one person, one other woman. It doesn't have another talent, right? Because I am known for developing women to the leadership level, but also equally men. I will find a great talent. Wherever I find a great talent, I will snatch them up and take them under and try to develop them. And it goes to show that it's not so much that I'm only looking for women or I'm only looking for men. I'm looking for, to the point of merit, I'm looking for diamonds, right? Diamonds that are not yet discovered in the rough. Like, I watch the young, early talent who come in and I'm like, put them on my watch list. I want to, watch them. We just had a young man that we have a big project coming up that I'm sponsoring, and I have been having my eye on him. He's a quiet talent. And I said, go and find out if his manager will let him run this project for me. Because what am I doing there? I'm going to put a spotlight on him. He's going to deliver that project. I know he's going to do a great job. It's a big project. It's visible all the way up to our executive committee, and everybody's going to know his name. Going to know who he is. And from there, things will change for him. I already know that. And so that's exactly what happened with me, with Alex Gorski.
You have to tell us a year from now.
Exactly what happened.
I want to
and
meet
so finding, his name is Drew, finding the Drews of the world, or the Lucias, who's like my chief of staff. And I had my eye on her a long time ago. And when my chief of staff role came up, I said, what about Lucia? No one had thought of her. They knew she was a talent, but they didn't think of her for this. And I said, yeah, what about, and so now everybody wants her to come work for them. She's like, I can't leave the role. I'm learning too much, right? I'll leave it, I'll look for another role at the end of the year. And so I think each one reach one. It's not something dramatic. Just find the one person who could use that investment, who they're talented, but they don't yet know. They don't know their own power. You can see it, but they can't. And I just love this term around seeing people not for who they are, but who they will become.
It's powerful.
I love that.
I love that
And what
too.
a great example of lifting people up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lift as we
wow,
rise.
that's so powerful.
I think we all want to be on the Reshema list.
I
I'm just saying.
That's okay.
Text me.
Yeah.
Well, it's important what you do with your influence.
Absolutely.
You can use your influence
Oh, yes.
in different ways. And I believe that as a steward of influence, because not everyone has it, it needs to be used in the right way. And that's for others.
Yeah.
Amazing. Ladies, I can't thank you enough, and we are so proud to be part of your little sphere and to be influenced by you, and that imprint's going to last with me for a very, very long time. I agree also, enough is enough, and I want to be on the Reshema list.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we all
Because
want the list.
HBA is a united
Force for change. Thank you, ladies. Spectacular job.